automatically what a Buddha is. There is no separate quality that comes out of a Buddha. It is compassion that is Buddha. It is the fact, the feeling of liberating all sentient beings, that's a Buddha. So there is no separate thing out there. It is one and the same. Okay, that brings us to the fact that when you take home message, from this we realize one thing, that our duty and we cannot be separate. Our responsibility and we cannot be separate. Anything assigned to you, that assignment and you cannot be separate. You have to become one with that. So namaste and very good morning to everyone. Today in a special Sunday series on Shunya Talks, we still continue with the Diamond Sutra, studying the Diamond Sutra with me. Now to continue our studying the Vajra Chedika Pragya Paramita Sutra as it is, also known as the Diamond Sutra, as it is translated by our beloved Acharya Nagajiva, also known as Dr. Lim or Dr. Lim. To let you know that this was translated to Chinese from Sanskrit by Tripitaka Acharya Kumarajiv. Translated to English from Chinese by Acharya Nagajiv. Very, very important to note that there is no attempt at interpretation or any explanation of the sutras by the translator. Now, before I start here, I would like to take a verse from this sutra itself that says, all dharmas that are fixed in action are illusions. Like bubbles, like dew, and like lightning, you should view them in this way. To see me in form, to seek me in sound, it is an evil way. One cannot see the Tathagata. Now you would be wondering, so many sessions and so many episodes I did, I never came up with a verse. But today, as I opened the text, the first verse that hit my eye was this. And it's a very important verse, and we will be studying that verse today. That's how the chapter 25 that we are here today to study is the topic 25, 26, 27 and 28. 4 chapters we're going to study because we missed last Sunday. I was in the northern Indian region of Himachal, spending some time with the great masters, the Tibetan monks, and trying to understand from them the art of Shunya and how they have been practicing it. So Shunya is everywhere. Every faith, every religion, every science, every game, everything has to have a center. That center is what we call Shunya. We also, in this existence, are a part of it. And we also have a center. To tap into that center of ours, where there is no trouble, no worry, all understanding, and ever bliss. That state is what we aim to tap into. And that's possible. How is it possible? Is through our practice of Shunya. So keep your levels up, always keep practicing. On the other side is to cultivate. After you plow the field, you put in the seeds of wisdom. And where does wisdom lie? In the text of our ancient great masters who actually have, like a scientist, do research and find new discoveries. So did our great masters who have actually worked hard to unreveal the secrets, the intelligence that governs the whole existence. And that is in the text. So we sow the seeds of those in a plowed field of mind through our practice, and then nourish it through our Panchashil, through our action with day-to-day duty. This is what our whole practice of Shunya is. Shunya is not limited only to sitting and just meditating, but it's divided into many things, like a plowing of the field, sowing of the seeds, and watering it every day till the time at the end of our life we reap in the rewards of all our efforts. Okay, so let's go to chapter 25. That's Tathagat saves no being. Okay, Usually what happens is, every time we seek a teacher, we seek a master, we want to learn from somebody, we want to ask somebody, we hope that he will become our savior. He will become the all-encompassing person who will help us in everything. But what A can do, what B can do, what C can do, they all can do differently. And all these people are very, very important. So Tathagat here is our teacher. He's teaching us. He can teach us so that we can learn. We have to learn so that we can save ourselves. He's not the one who's going to save us. So the title is very apt, that Tathagat saves no being. Subhuti, what do you think? The essence of this sutra, Diamond Sutra, is questioning. It all began with question, it continues with questions, and at the end of this sutra, it still leaves you with a question. So question is the only way through which you can know. Subhuti, what do you think? You should not say that the Tathagat thinks he shall liberate the beings. Subhuti, do you think in such a way? Now Buddha is very, very particular about asking Subhuti before he is, because Subhuti was the one who asked Buddha during the initial chapters. If you have gone through that, you will realize he was asking Buddha, how should a virtuous man or a virtuous woman, think, control the thoughts and focus the mind so that they can achieve the highest state of realization, that's Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi. So he wanted to know how can they achieve. And this knowing is because he had a question. Now that's where the whole sutra began. So Buddha is again asking Subhuti to make sure. Subhuti, what do you think? You should not say that the Tathagata thinks he shall liberate the beings. Subhuti, do not think in such a way. So he is making very clear. If you are thinking like this, that the Tathagata is going to liberate the beings, do not think like that. Why is this so? Actually, no being is liberated by the Tathagata. Buddha is also explaining why is this so? No being is liberated by the Tathagata. How can a teacher, because you see, parents put their children in school, they search the best school, and they say, if my child goes to this school, my job done. He's going to be as best as the people, the alumni of this school were great. Not all of them. Some were great. And they did their greatness because they actually went and did their duty. But many would have failed. When we put our children in that school, we expect that the school should do everything for our children. They should make them great. They should save them. The teacher there should save them, but that's not possible. So actually no being is liberated by the Tathagata. No being is ever liberated by the teacher. If there were beings that are saved by the Tathagata, it would mean that the Tathagata is attached to self, people, beings or existence. Once you have that thought that the Tathagata, the teacher, is saving us, Tathagata is going to teach us, it would mean that Tathagata is attached to the self-identity that he is the one who is the savior. There are people out there, there is being out there, and there is existence that he wants to contribute. Once this dualistic thought comes in, then the teacher is over. Then he is no more a teacher because he cannot differentiate. Not in people, not in beings, not in existence also. So, not even with the self. Subhuti, when the Tathagata says self, there is actually no self. When Tathagata is even saying that about self, technically he is only symbolically calling it so that for your understanding and our understanding, an understanding of everything that has to actually be understood. So he is using these examples, these names and form to explain the concept of reality. And when he is using and he is saying that there is self, actually there is no self. Only for the name he is calling it self. Yet the unenlightened commoner takes this to be a self. Yet it's very clear. He's making it clear. He's saying the unenlightened commoner. That means anybody who has not understood is unenlightened. The one who is not uncommon is common. Means that is majority of the people, they always look at their self. They always identify themselves as different from the others. Subhuti, even referring to the commoners, The Tathagata says there are not commoners. Now again, even when he is using the word as there are people who are unenlightened, there are people who are commoners, they will always attach to the self. But again he is clearing this particular thing, that when I am saying commoner, again there is no such thing as a commoner. Because as soon as he gets enlightened, he is no more a commoner. So there is nobody out there as different. They are all states and different states of the same thing. Now, so the take home message is, Tathagata does not save any being, but you cannot say his teaching cannot save any being. His teaching can, and that is why you have to understand that a teacher, a coach, again I go back to the same example. A coach can teach you how to swim. It's the swimming that is going to save you, not the coach. So understand, the teacher can give you a teaching. It's the teaching that is going to save you, not the teacher. Similarly, the Tathagat is our guide. He can guide us on our path of realization. But to realize is our journey, our own achievement. So very, very important that the whole concept of self and the other being or things or existence itself is a dualistic concept, is seeing things differently. Once there is differentiation, everything is then becoming a problem. So always remember, see the oneness in things. Okay, because if you see the oneness in things, there is no differentiation, everything is understood. Let's go to chapter 26. Anybody having any questions at any point when I'm teaching this? Because now here all the concepts are getting shattered. Because you use concepts to understand other concepts. So when we understand this concept, we throw away this concept. When we understand this concept and we make another concept, we throw away this concept. You keep on throwing. Exactly the skill set that is required to engage with this world. When I am now a 45-year-old man, I have to let go of my 10-year-old concept about me, a little child. If I go and behave like a small child, this society will see, hey, you're a 45-year-old man, you're behaving like a 10-year-old child. It does not fit into the game. At 45, I behave like a 45. At 10, I behave like a 10. Because if a 10-year-old behaves like a 45-year-old, that's also a problem. So everybody has to actually be in their own real state. And that real state also is a responsible state. You should know your responsibility, you should do your duty, and that duty is your real state where you perform. As a student, be a student. As an employee, be an employee. As a boss, be a good boss. Everything you have to do according to your state. So, bodily. Chapter 26, bodily signs are no signs. Subhuti, what do you think? Again and again, Subhuti only asked one question, but I think in this sutra, in Diamond Sutra, Buddha has actually drilled Subhuti so much, I don't think so he would ever think again. But again he asked him, Subhuti, what do you think? Can one see the Tathagata by his 32 bodily signs? Now, these bodily signs are basis on which we identify a Tathagata, a Buddha. So, those days there were certain signs. If these signs were visible, we knew that this person is an enlightened person, this is a Buddha. So, Subhuti is being asked by Buddha, hey Subhuti, what do you think? Can someone or anyone see the Tathagata by the 32 bodily signs? Subhuti was very clear. He said, yes sir, one can see the Tathagata by his 32 bodily signs. Yeah. He is answering as it is. Yeah, we can actually see the Tathagata by his 32 bodily signs. The Buddha said, Subhuti, if one sees the Tathagat by his 32 bodily signs, then the holy king Chakravartin is also the Tathagat. Now he is making it clear. If somebody can see the Tathagat by 32 bodily signs, then the holy king Chakravartin is also the Tathagat, because he also had 32 bodily signs. Subhuti said to the Buddha, Bhagwan, as I understand your teaching, one should not try to see the Tathagat by his 32 bodily signs. Now suddenly he changes. Okay, he says, oh, now when you have explained this to me, that even the King Chakravatin, who had 32 bodily signs, was also the Tathagata. So then there is no differentiation. Then Subhuti is saying, Subhuti said to Buddha, Bhagwan, as I understand your teaching, now he is saying that as I understand your teaching, one should not try to see the Tathagata by his 32 bodily signs. You should not fix your idea of seeing the Tathagata and defining him by 32 bodily signs. If you do that, then anybody and everybody who has that 32 bodily signs becomes the Tathagata. Okay? Thereupon, the Bhagwan recited the following verses, that is the Gatha. Okay? Here the word Gatha is very important, verses. And in those days, teachers used to sing along, make those small gathas and verses so that we are able to recite along with the teacher. And when we recited along with the teacher, it stuck into our memory. Maybe that is the reason even today, Bollywood movies, you see, while the story continues, there are 5 or 6 songs in the movie that actually connect us to the movie for the rest of our life. So these gathas are like the musical notes, or you can say the songs that always create an imprint into our memory because of the feelings and the experience it gives us. And so we can never forget. So gathas are very important. So thereupon the Bhagwan recited the following verses, Gatha. To see me in form, to seek me in sound, it is an evil way. One cannot see the Tathagat. Wow, very, very clearly and precisely he says that to see me in form means fixed form, that this is how it looks. The Buddha has this head, this eyes, nose, blah, blah. No, no, no. To see me in form, to seek me in sound. I hear the Tathagata talking to me, ideas teaching, to hear, to even seek him in sound, it is an evil way. It is not the right way. It's an evil way. I think in the whole Diamond Sutra or the books that I have read, very rarely has Buddha used the word as evil. And I also asked the translator, Dr. Lim, I asked him, are you not using a very, difficult word here? Because evil means really not good, Something can be not good, but something being evil is very, very dangerous because it can definitely open your doors to hell. You do something in an evil way, your ticket for hell is confirmed. So here when doctor used the word, he confirmed again to me that yes, he has again and again thought 100 times because he was actually transliterating it exactly as it is in the sutra. And there it was said, to see me in form, to seek me in sound, it is an evil way. So to depict and to seek the Tathagata in the form or in sound is an evil way, your doorway, your ticket to hell. One cannot see the Tathagata like that. You cannot see that. You cannot limit the limitless. You cannot bound the boundless. So this is a very important statement. Maybe that is why when we started today's talk, that particular verse that came in front of me is exactly this verse. And it was sung out again openly in front of everybody, and everybody sang along this verse. So very, very important. And it is chapter 26. Okay, remember this. So whenever your mind wanders and wants to see the Tathagata or feels to hear the Tathagata, remember this, that intelligence that exists around cannot be seen, cannot be heard. It can only be experienced. Tathagata is an experience, and it can be experienced only through teaching and through the practice. So through the practice of Shunya and through the revision and the learning and the studying of the sutras, we can actually see and experience the Tathagata, not by his bodily signs, 32 bodily signs. Okay? Let's move to chapter 27. Okay? You can, Dhruv, if any questions, you please highlight them, okay? Yeah. So, no destruction of forms and dharmas. So, 27 chapter says, no destruction of forms and dharmas. Subhuti, if you think that the Tathagata attains Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi without his perfect bodily signs, then Subhuti, this thinking is wrong. This is wrong thinking. Subhuti, if you think that the Tathagata attains Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi without his perfect bodily signs, then Subhuti, this is wrong thinking. Subhuti, by thinking this way, those who aspire to attain Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi will teach the dharma that is non-existent. You should not think like this. Now here suddenly there is a paradox. A verse before 26, chapter 26, he's saying you cannot see the Tathagat by his 32 bodily signs. These 32 bodily signs are the signs of a perfect being who has achieved perfection in his action, in his deeds, in his thoughts. So that was a state of complete pureness, clarity. And when somebody has achieved that, you say you cannot see the Tathagata in that state. Now in the chapter 27, he's asking Subhuti, if you think that the Tathagata attains Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi, highest of the highest realization, without his perfect bodily signs, that way of thinking is wrong thinking. You see, that means even though those 32 bodily signs are not the parameters on which you can actually judge and see the Tathagata, without them also you cannot attain the Tathagata or the highest realization. Subhuti, by thinking this way, which way? That you should not have those perfect bodily signs, okay? And without that you can achieve the Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi. Such a thinking also is a wrong thinking. So one way we say you grasp it, the other way we say if you grasp it, you don't get it. The other way you're saying you leave it, but leaving also you don't get it. So it is very important to understand that those who aspire to attain the Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi will teach the dharma that is non-existent. They will say it doesn't exist. There is nothing there out there. They will go into nihilism. And Buddha warns us about thinking like that there is absolutely nothing out there. No. There is a state, the highest and the purest state, Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi, and that can be achieved when you achieve the highest or the purest or the perfect bodily signs. And through that, we can achieve that. So, why is this so? Buddha explains. The one who aspires to attain Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi should not claim that dharma is non-existent. You cannot be a nihilist saying there is nothing out there. There is nothing after death. These all deeds have nothing to you do. What is when you do something bad and wrong, how does it affect? No. How do you think when you do good and this, it's not going to be there. There's nothing out there after this. So better let's go and enjoy this life. Let's do what we want to do. No, you cannot be doing that, because everything you do today, even though there is no tomorrow and there is no past and there is no future, but everything you do today actually is the seed that you sow so that your tomorrow or your past or your future is being created. With everything that you do today, you wash and clean up your past. Everything that you do today is what you're creating for the future, for the tomorrow. So today matters. Today is the only option we have that we can create something and do something. So this thought that there is no past and there is no future, so I go and enjoy my life, you would be the biggest fool to do that. And that's what Buddha is telling, that for you to even achieve the highest Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi, you need to have the perfect bodily signs. How do you get that? Following your Panchashil. Your Panchashil are the practices through which you achieve the 32 bodily signs, the perfect being. You become the perfect being that the world respects, adores. One who follows the Panchashil actually is on the path of becoming a Buddha. And Buddha is the teacher, the Tathagat. When you achieve the body of the Panchashil, you have the 32 bodily signs. You with that perfection are set on a journey to achieve the highest state of realization, the Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi. Now put this in practice. Anything you want to achieve, a goal you want to achieve in life, you want to achieve financial freedom, you want to achieve peace, you want to have happiness, you need to contribute towards that. You need to have the Panchashila, the good virtues, acts that you will be engaged in, so that you can then You sow these seeds of virtue so that you can reap the benefits and the fruits of happiness and joy. So here everything is in the moment that you do. So keep your awareness in the moment so that you're washing away the past wrong and you're cultivating the future right. Very, very important. So no destruction of forms and dharmas. Technically, there is no destruction of any forms and dharma. What will you destroy? Technically, there is nothing to destroy, but yet there is everything to correct. Right? So then let's go to chapter 28. Okay, now here it gets little difficult because do not try to grasp it as a knowledge, but see how you can put that into application. The application of this is so beautiful. It brings me to the awareness that whatever has happened in the past can be corrected now. Whatever I wish to do in the future can be done now. And it is hence that the past and the future lies in the moment that I create now. And the awareness the activity that you can do is only in the now. What happened in the past, you cannot go and change it there. You can change it now. Whatever you're going to do in the future, you cannot do there. You can do it now. So remember this. So every moment, every second, bring your mind always into the awareness of the now. When you are able to do that, you will see your true self. That self is not separate from anything. There is no past, no future, but everything is in the here and now. Chapter 28. No attachment to merits. Subhuti, if on the one hand a bodhisattva filled the worlds, as many as the sand grains in the Ganges river with 7 types of jewels, and on the other hand, another bodhisattva realized all dharmas are without a self and thereby achieved perfection of patience, the merit gained by this bodhisattva would exceed that of the former. Now it is very clear, bodhisattvas are the ones who are already on the path of becoming a Buddha. And Buddha is giving an example here to Subhuti with the basis of comparison so that Subhuti can understand what he's trying to say. This is only for the comparative analysis so that you can analyze what he's trying to say. He's saying that there are 2 bodhisattvas. Okay, one bodhisattva on one hand is filling the worlds, as many, with the grain, as many as the grains of the Ganges river. Every grain, okay, is equivalent to 1 Ganges river. That is what he said. So, but let's say here he's saying he fills up the world as many as the sand grains in the Ganges river with 7 types of jewels. Means he gives everything that he has. Everything that he has. Because something that you possess is like a jewel. Okay. Everything that you possess is your jewel because that's what you don't want to let it go. It's precious to you. So you fill up all the existence with everything that you have. And that means, when you have means there are 2 things. One is self, I, and something that I have. Now I fill everything with everything that I have, excluding yourself, okay? And on the other hand, another bodhisattva realized all the dharmas are without the self. It cannot be separate. And thereby achieved perfection of patience, okay? Because of which he is patient enough to never, struggle. Because there is no another thing. There is only you that exists everywhere, in everything. The merit gained by this bodhisattva, the second one, would exceed that of the former. He's saying that the merit, you can say the goodness that is achieved is higher for the second one because he does not differentiate. Subhuti, this is because the bodhisattvas do not attach to merit. Now why would that be? Because bodhisattvas usually do not attach to merits. Both will get benefit, but somebody who is not attached to self gets more. Now here, on one side he is saying that they do not attach to merits, but one is selflessly giving everything that he has, only to the point that he is left with only himself, nothing else. That person is also going to get merits. And the other person does not differentiate between anything, not even self and everything, and just realizes the dharma. There is no other person to give. Everything is me around here. There is no person out there. There is no separate self for me to give anything. I just engage with existence as it is. There is no separate self for me to give anybody anything. At that moment itself, even the self is gone. So both of these gain merits, but the second one gets the higher one. Why? Because he is not differentiating. Subhuti said to the Buddha, Bhagwan, how is it that the bodhisattvas does not attach to merit? Now, once you're getting something, there is but natural thing that you will get attached to it. So he wants to know, Subhuti, that when they are getting merits, why is it that they are not attached to merit? Subhuti, the bodhisattvas are not greedy for merit. It is very clear here that Buddha is saying that the ones who are on the path of Buddhahood, they do not want to gain that for merits. They don't want to accumulate goodness, because how can goodness accumulate goodness? It is the inherent quality. So they don't seek for that. A gold which was dirty, lying in some dirty sand, when you clean it, it is not trying to do effort to glow. Glow is its natural tendency. It is going to glow. All the merits are actually what create a bodhisattva. So he doesn't need to actually be attached to it, because it is merits that define the bodhisattva. Therefore, I say that they do not attach to merit, because they don't need to attach to merit, because the bodhisattva itself is the merit. All the thing that he accumulates, he encompasses, all the merits is what become the ingredient through which a bodhisattva is made. So, for example, now apply that in your life. When I do good without the expectation of any goodness coming back to me, but I just keep on doing good, I basically become a good person. I get all the merits and the ingredients that make me a good person. I don't need to attach myself to it. It's not something separate. Goodness and me become synonym to each other. I become it. And then there is no differentiation. So it becomes my natural tendency, my natural behavior to keep on being good. And this goodness will be seen in my actions of the Panchashil that I will do. You will see that I will become a natural follower of Panchashil, where I will never harm, I will never take something that does not belong to me. And people can see that. And when they define me, they don't define me as Rajesh or somebody, they will define me by the qualities that I exhibit, by the merits that I display. So, with all the merits that I display, what will happen? I will gain in more merits. The more merits, the more goodness I will be able to do. And goodness will become the character and the personality that I will be. Hence, compassion is not born out of a Buddha. Compassion itself is Buddha. To serve and save sentient beings, to teach and liberate sentient beings is automatically what a Buddha is. There is no separate quality that comes out of a Buddha. It is compassion that is Buddha. It is the fact, the feeling of liberating all sentient beings, that's a Buddha. So there is no separate thing out there. It is one and the same. Okay, that brings us to the fact that when you take home message, from this we realize one thing, that our duty and we cannot be separate. Our responsibility and we cannot be separate. Anything assigned to you, that assignment and you cannot be separate. You have to become one with that. And then when you become one, there is no one to blame. Everything and everything is you. Once you have that separate thing, you will always blame. Once you blame, you give excuses. Once you give excuses, you are ought to fail. Remember this, because there is no one else to blame. You are solely responsible for the act that you are involved in. You will have to be responsible for it, and there will be no excuses. And because there is no excuses and there is no one to blame, the only thing that is left is success. And that is what a bodhisattva is defined with. Okay, so even though we keep on teaching you all your practice of shunya and everything, yes, we get the guidance, but the practice is all yours. You cannot separate yourself and say this is it, then that is it. Stop giving excuses. Only complete the action without a separate self. Do it selflessly. as if the act is you and you are the act. And then you see the magic around it. When there are no two, all the rewards come to the one, because he's the one who should get that. And that is why we say, when there is no chaos, then peace prevails. And when there is all understanding, prosperity comes. So remember this. Okay, so Diamond Sutra unfolds us this amazing secret that we cannot have fixed thoughts and ideas and concepts through which we interact with the world. We liberate ourselves by becoming one with them, taking responsibilities as not as a separate responsibility, taking responsibility as it is your duty, and duty is what you are. And then you see the magic of it. The world will just fall in love with you. They will adore you, they will respect you, and they will make you feel so great that you will understand that all the merits that you have gained, you do not have to attach to yourself. It doesn't need to be attached. The bird that sits on your hand, would you like to hold it? You'll be a fool. Whenever you call it, it comes and sits on your hand. Would you still like to hold it? Tie it up? Chain it up? No, 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 no. I think that kind of liberation is what we are looking at. Peace is around us. You can achieve it whenever you want. Snap of a finger, sit down, count your 9 to 0, experience peace. Chaos you can manage. Peace you have to experience. So with peace as the center, you manage the chaos of your life. Okay? With duty and responsibility at your center, you manage the prosperity that comes along. Okay? That is the essence of the Diamond Sutra's teaching today. Okay, so thank you so much. And see you again next Sunday with another chapter of the Diamond Sutra, the Vajrachedika Pragya Paramita Sutra. Till then, thank you, keep practicing and keep studying.